Hello everyone. Today we're looking at Ghost pre-workout, and I wanted to kind of do this as late as possible, this pre-workout, but I guess we're doing it now. And a very popular pre-workout. I think this is because of the way that they have chosen their athletes. They basically have a lot of athletes who promote their brand, and this has grown their brand to be a big brand. But today we're looking at the pre-workouts, if they're good or not, or whatever they are. And first of all, gotta look at the tastes, and I think this has to be one of the most diverse tastes as well. They have a lot of taste, and they're super random as well, like Swedish fish. Like that's so specific, or it's like super specific orange ice cream. Well, that's a super specific taste, but I think my favorite has to be the Sour Patch, and that's probably the one that I would be going with. Looking at the price, so they have, I believe, but yeah, they have 30 servings per container, and it costs about $40. So the price is about 1.3 per serving. It's not that bad of a price. So you just pay $1.3 every serving that you take. Looking at the ingredients. So and their ingredients are pretty basic, I would say. Most of the stuff that other pre-workouts have as well. So yeah, let's just go through each one of them. First of all, I'm gonna ignore all of these because those usually don't really matter. I mean, okay, they have like how much calories you have in a pre-workout, but if you're counting calories from a pre-workout, then something might be wrong with you because that's a bit too far. I mean, 10 calories. Like, what are you gonna do with 10 calories? Um, but yeah, and I'm gonna ignore these vitamins because they are as in the form of ingredients that I look at later. So ascorbic acid, vitamin C, that's this one right here, and choline is this one right here. So we're gonna look at those later. But first one, L-citrulline, and apparently they have chosen to take the vegan fermented version, which I'm not quite sure what the difference is. Uh, I wouldn't say that there's that big of a difference, but sure, I suppose. L-citrulline overall, amazing, does work, does hydrate your muscles and all that good stuff. Better pumps. Pretty much every pre-workout has this, and caffeine. But as per the dose is very fat and it is very good. So usually, if you're using only L-citrulline, you would probably stay around 5 grams of L-citrulline. This is 6 grams, so that's a great dose. However, I would probably use the citrulline malate form. Here they use just the L-citrulline form. So basically you can bond it or put in also malate. Apparently that's better. It's supposed to be better. There's no real studies between L-citrulline and L-citrulline malate and seeing if there's like a big difference or if there's a small difference. It should be better, so I would just be safe and put in the L-citrulline malate. But great ingredient. Moving on to the next one, beta alanine. Again, my thoughts on beta alanine. Really not that good. I can put up the video again in the corner. Basically, you got to be using it every single day, and if you're using, as you can see here, 300 milligrams of caffeine, you cannot be taking this pre-workout every single day, which means you're not going to be taking beta alanine every single day, meaning you're not going to build up to the saturation limit of beta alanine, meaning it's not going to have any effects. However, we all know beta alanine is very great. Does actually work, does increase endurance, does increase performance. If you take it for a prolonged period and it builds up to the saturation limit, then it can actually then it can buffer lactic acid and you can go for longer. and you can do better. So it does work. However, probably not the best ingredient in pre-workouts. Moving on to the next one, betaine anhydrous. This one also has a bunch of studies on PubMed. Again, you can go look at those. It basically hydrates the muscle, and here's a bunch of studies that you could look at. So this one right here pretty much showed that there was no change. This one shows that there was an advantage of taking betaine at below 4 grams per day. And this one showed that there was an increase of up to 24% on strength and power as a result of betaine supplementation. So you can look at those. You can go a bit deeper, but the majority of studies suggest that it does work, does increase performance, does hydrate the muscle to a significant level, and it is good. Now again, as you saw in the study, you should probably be using less than 4 grams. So here it's 2.5 grams. So that is completely okay. And that is a great ingredient. Moving on to the next one, Senactive. Senactive, I do believe I've talked about this before. And I think I said this was not that good. Basically, it has Panax and Rosa in it. And there's really not that much studies, and all the studies that there are basically say that it mostly increases endurance, as you can see here, like time to exhaustion, but there's no like solid studies testing or reliable studies testing this inactive compound. So it really doesn't look that good. And on top of that, if it increases your endurance, it's hard to say. Like if you're a cyclist, then yes, this could help you. If you're going to the gym and you lift for like, let's say you lift for like 30 seconds and then you take like a minute rest, then this is probably not going to help you that much. But if you're going hard, let's say for boxing sparring rounds for like 3 minutes, then yes, this could help you. But I would probably say that not that tested, so I would probably not use this. L-tyrosine. This one is also the vegan fermented, which, like, okay. But basically regulates your mood, increases dopamine levels, which also increases focus, basically. And you can just feel better while you lift, so it does help and does work. Works at around 1 gram, and here is 2 grams, so that is completely fine. And also increases exercise capacity in the heat, which, I mean, if you're working out in the heat, then there you go, that's gonna help you. Next up, taurine. This one also does help. Basically helps the body produce more energy, which in turn, you know, you can go harder. You can go harder for longer. You can recover faster, and all that good stuff. And also usually used around 1 gram. So this is completely fine dosed. And these two, like these two ingredients are very good. So you're gonna probably see them in a lot of good pre-workouts. Next up, we have Vitacholine choline L by tartrate. And I already talked about this, I believe, in the previous video, in the 5150 video, and it's good. It's good. However, I do believe that there's better options for choline donators, such as alpha GPC, basically also to regulate mood, increase focus, increase memory, and all that good stuff. So I would probably just switch this out for alpha GPC, but this is fine as well, to be honest. And this is also dosed okay, so that's all good. Next up, natural caffeine, which I'm also not quite sure what the natural does. Maybe your stomach doesn't get as upset as it does with caffeine anhydrous, because caffeine. I know that caffeine can upset your stomach, and if you take too much, you might be, shitting your pants while you're at the gym. So maybe the natural means that you get less of that, but I'm not quite sure. But caffeine in itself does work, does help pretty much with everything: strength, performance, endurance, focus, pumps. It just pretty much does everything. Um, so that one's good. And as I suggest, to stay in about 210 milligrams to 600 milligrams. And this one's in that range, so that is completely fine. Next up, we have pure whey C, ascorbic acid, and citrus. I'm not quite sure what that is. Okay, apparently it's another form of vitamin C, and it basically is more absorptive, so it absorbs better than vitamin C. Which, like, why are you taking vitamin C as a pre-workout? First of all, second of all, apparently vitamin C supplementation does improve muscle strength um, and fatigue. So I don't know. Maybe the new meta is to just take vitamin C before you go to the gym. Probably not. Probably just take a multivitamin, every single day. If you're in a deficit, if your vitamin C levels are in a deficit, obviously you're gonna perform worse. However, that doesn't mean your pre-workout has to have it. Just buy a multivitamin. Again, I would probably suggest you buy a multivitamin before you buy a pre-workout, because there's a lot more benefits from that than a pre-workout, such as, all the vitamins, including vitamin D, which is crucial to building muscle, to strength, to pretty much everything, and all the other vitamins. If you have them in the good range, you will perform better. And when you get a multivitamin, you can get a pre-workout to increase your performance further. So I would say pure whey is not a good ingredient. Next up, we have theobromine, and theobromine, a very good ingredient. Basically, an extract from chocolate, from dark chocolate, and many studies done on this stuff pretty much suggesting that increases cognition, increases memory, increases mostly those two, cognition and memory. And basically, what that does is improves focus in the gym. And it's also been compared to caffeine in the cognition function, so it is very good. Again, most supplements use around 50 milligrams of theobromine. It is safe up to like 500 milligrams. So if you want to be taking 500, go ahead. But I would probably suggest around 250 milligrams, and that should probably be fine. 100 is fine as well, to be honest, but that's a good ingredient. Next up, we have Neurofactor coffee. Apparently, this this neurofactor increases the production of brain-derived neurotropic factor, and basically it's used for overall brain health. However, here they also say that coffee fruit has been a waste product for a traditional coffee process. And Future, this company, discovered an eco-friendly path that preserves the whole fruit and the unique for the benefit of human health. So pretty much you're paying for a waste product. That's great. That's great. I mean, sure, if it increases overall brain health, that's amazing. However, I'm not looking to increase my brain health, you know, with my pre-workout. Like, go home and, like, eat walnuts if you want to increase your brain health. But, no, this is probably not a good. And lastly, we have estrogen. And estrogen I have also talked about previously. And basically, the best function that it has is that it increases ATP production in the liver, which basically means you have more energy, uh, you recover faster. However, the increase is pretty small, so I suppose you could throw it in just as a wild card in your pre-workout, but it's not amazing. So overall, this one's not amazing. This one's a no-no. This one's good. This one's no-no. This one's good. This one's all right. This is good. This is good. This is no-no. This is good. This is no-no, and this is good. So there are some improvements that you can make to this. However, it is pretty decent, I would say. Pretty good choice. And also not the most expensive. So this one is definitely alright. If I had to rank it, I'd probably put it somewhere here, maybe. Yeah, that's probably fine. Not the best formula if you're looking. It's kind of in the middle. It's like a decent price and a decent formula. If you're looking for an amazing formula, there's definitely better ones. If you're looking for an amazing price, there's definitely better ones. So this is just a great middle ground. But yeah, that's been the Ghost pre-workouts, and see you in the next one.